Hello and welcome to LT North Campus Reber Gym for this edition. Oh, Von Gym, I should say. What? Hello and welcome to LT North Campus Von Gym for this edition of what? Forest Campus Fieldhouse.
Yeah, come on, Steven, you little tool.
Yeah, I know. I know. Hello and welcome to the North Campus Fieldhouse. My name is Stephen Barhorst, joined by
Luke Cunningham.
and we're here to enter in another edition of LT Girls Volleyball, this time against Hinsdale Central. The interesting thing to note here is LT and Hinsdale Central are both looking to increase somewhat of a poor conference record. LT is 1-2, currently 8th in the conference, and Hinsdale is 0-1. But we are set to go off here. First serve, rebounded over the net, doubling back. Hinsdale saves. LT and Hinsdale establishing a good volley here. Both looking to gain the upper edge as it swings back behind the net for Hinsdale. LT trying to establish a nice rhythm. Looks like they have. Just a slight spike, almost caught Hinsdale off guard. And a nice defensive play by LT's center, number 29. Another good volley here. This is a lengthy one now. Big defensive play right there. T getting it across, and that would be a first score for LT.
That had to at least gone back and forth, 15 to 20 times. I mean, great job for LT for getting past. Here we have number 26 on LT serving.
And the serve is away. LT got Hinsdale off guard. It was a low serve, and they hit it low, and it went under the net. That would be a point. So LT's leading Hinsdale 2-0. Hinsdale just trying to claw away, and they do get a score. It went up and over number 12, Marina Gonzalez, the 5'7" senior.
Looks like a slight communication error as number 12, 16, and 15 all try to lunge for the ball at once. Hinsdale serves again.
LT establishing a good defensive rhythm. They've been solid so far, except for that one missed communication. But they've been otherwise technically sound. But there was a pretty hard hit of the ball, went out of bounds, and that tied the game up here for the Red Devils. Now 2-2. Hinsdale getting ready to serve. The serve is away, and LT will get it. Going over the net, Hinsdale now sends it back, and there will be a stoppage. And they're awarding a point to Hinsdale.
That makes it 3-2, and Hinsdale will serve again.
Seemed as though Hinsdale off to a slow start. Now they are finally starting to heat up. Rhiannon Schuneman, the big right hook to the ball going up over the net.
Yeah, it was
tie it up.
Great spike, hit it right down to center court where nobody was. That will tie up the game again, 3-3. LT serves. Hitting the net, Hinsdale seems to have been caught off guard and nobody went for the ball, which gives LT another point.
LT getting ready to serve after that defensive error on the part of Hinsdale. This would put them ahead by 2 if LT successfully wins. And it will, as The defensive effort for Hinsdale to get it back over just tilted out of bounds. The last one to touch it was Stephanie Davis, the 5'7" junior for Hinsdale. A big defensive effort by Rhiannon Schoenemann as LT gets it back over. But
LT has hit it out of bounds, just past number 10 on Hinsdale.
Schoenemann, number 21, has a massive spike. It really has a lot of power and speed, but sometimes she overcalculates it, and that one cost them a point. Now 5-4 Hinsdale. Now 5-4 LT, I should say. A little bit of a defensive error, but LT was still able to
Great
get it back
recovery
over.
right there by Hinsdale.
It was. And LT's defensive effort by number 16, Nicole Wada, the 5'10" senior, just didn't get enough over the net. Now Hinsdale will serve, tied 5-5. Big spike, but it just went over the line. They're giving that one to Hinsdale. Seems as though this LT front court rotation has a lot of power, as we saw right there, Rhiannon Schoenemann with another.
I mean, we've seen that play at least 3 times in the past, say, 5, and luckily this time it did not go out of bounds.
They really like to feed the corners. They feel like their height and their power and athleticism there are really going to give them the key to this game. But it seems as though they're on the defensive side there, they are a little bit unsure as to who has what in those sectors, as LT just let Hinsdale tie it up 6-all. So far, a very interesting game. Not many teams getting too much ground as Hinsdale takes the lead.
Once again, another corner shot. It has gone out of bounds. Now, Hinsdale has 8, LT trailing behind with 6. It is the Devils' turn to serve.
Serve up and away, and it hits the net. The server for Hinsdale, Andrea Kopp, the junior, just couldn't get enough steam on it to get it over the net. Now it's Rhiannon Schoenemann up to serve. No problem for her getting it up over the net. And on a tracking, on a tracking shot from number 26 of Hinsdale, got it over the net. LT wasn't able to follow. They like to play close to where the ball is. That won't get you too many points. And big defensive play, almost got it back. Another huge defensive play for LT right now. Staying alive. They're going to need a lot of those to stay in, as a point is awarded to LT after a penalty. Now they're only trailing by 2. LT to serve. Big spike. They got a piece of it though, and that kept it from going all the way. Hinsdale got it back over, and another big spike, but this time no one is there to get it for Hinsdale. Number 26, Emma Fink, the 5'11" sophomore, tried 2 times to get it over. One was blocked, they got a chip of it. The other, the same thing, but this time no one was there. As we get into this new volley, Hinsdale is keeping the pressure on, but a defensive wall right there. Another one blocked again. Joint effort by number 15, Kelsey Sheehan, and number 12, Marina Gonzalez. Sheehan, the 5'11" senior, got a piece of it, and I think she's going to be awarded the point.
Yeah, LT is now back in the lead, 10-9. I would not be surprised if this goes into all 3 matches.
Interesting point to note there. The JV game went to 3 matches as well. It was very tightly contested, all of those matches. We'll see if the varsity squads will be as competitive. Madison Babich on the serve.
Looks like Maggie Schwartz of Hinsdale tried to hit it back over, and the ball was redirected behind her, which gives LT another point.
Babich back to serve again, this time. Whoa, big diving play by Maggie Schwartz for the Red Devils. Wasn't able to get it high enough. And then the ball just drifted out of bounds. That'll give LT a big 4-point lead. Defensively, the Lions are pretty sound for this stretch. It's been back and forth, but if LT can score here, they might want to put Hinsdale in a spot.
And they have scored. They're now up by 5. The tides have turned as Hinsdale had been taking a pretty decent lead.
And a timeout has been charged to Hinsdale. And just kind of walk me through what you would be saying if you were the coach of each team.
Well, clearly LT has been having a great defensive play, and they've just got to keep that up. For Hinsdale, I think that they've also been quite great in the past few. They just need to put more people in the back of the court and in the corners, because that's where LT's been shooting the ball.
Interesting thing to note, of all the LT points, they've either come from the corners with big spikes. They really like to have the people on those corners understand that that's where they're going to feed the ball for power.
And also, I mean, Hinsdale, they seem to be communicating well. It's just the fact of whether they can get to the ball or not. LT has been having more communication errors.
They've been able to redirect. They've been able to redirect and get back there just in time. But luck can only get you so far as Madison Babich
somersaults backwards.
She went for the ball. She got a piece of it, but she wasn't quite in the right position. That flung into the crowd. Now Hinsdale back to serve. Number 3, Nora Stack, the 5'8" senior, getting ready to serve. And Schooneman on the initial contact. Good defensive play by Stack for Hinsdale. LT thought they had it there. And that would be a score for number 15, Kelsey Sheehan. And LT now up by 5 again. They are leading 15-10 as LT takes the serve. That's Marina Gonzalez.
Great serve. It looked like they could have waited a little while and not hit it. It might have gone out of bounds, but Hinsdale did hit the ball. The point is redirected to LT, giving them a 6-10 lead, or 16-10 lead. I apologize.
Marina Gonzalez on the serve. Hinsdale caught it that time, but no one was there to catch Hinsdale's volley back, as now the Devils are trying to come back from a 5-point lead, from a 5-point deficit now. Hinsdale on the serve. Schooneman again with the defensive effort. Big spike.
That goes once again right to the right corner. This is where LT has been playing, and Hinsdale, if they plan to win these matches, they've got to go back. They've got to get more people or a greater force in the backcourt.
Yeah, Kelsey Sheehan again on that. She might be one to watch for a big game. 3 Lions diving. Marina Gonzalez, Madison Babich, and Nicole Latta all could not get it. So now the Devils will take a 6-point deficit. Score is currently 17-11. To win one match, you must have 25 points. LT, of course, inching closer, and I must say, 5-point deficit. It is 17-12.
Great diving play by number 14 on the Lions, Abby Vulich.
Yeah, I just don't think they had enough steam on it to get it over the net. Now Hinsdale with a 4-point deficit, only trailing by that 4 to get, well, now only trailing by 3.
Yeah, that was a fantastic defensive wall by Hinsdale that just shut down the ball, hitting it back out. Didn't get the chance to go over the net.
Kate Gallo's serve streak has been pretty impressive so far. Schooneman and a big play. Gallo was not quite ready. It looked like she tried to get out of the way a little bit. That will...
Did she tap it there? I think she did.
Well,
once again, going to the corner.
They are awarding the point to LT. And Kelsey Sheehan will get the serve for LT. And a point for LT. There was a penalty on the play. And that will be assessed to the scoreboard. Kelsey Sheehan again.
LT now only needs 6 points to win this match.
Kelsey Sheehan up over. And another point awarded to Kelsey Sheehan.
It looked like 3 Red Devils tried to go and chase after the ball, but no one appeared to get it.
There's been an interesting number of lapses in communication almost between these two teams. Some plays, from up here at least, look like they could have been solved if they had a little bit better net of communication as LT scores once again.
Yeah, great defensive wall by number 10 on LT, Shaylin Brady, and it looks like there will be another timeout as LT inches closer to winning this match.
Of course, you need a best 2 out of 3 system in volleyball is what this is. So they need another match after this one if they do end up winning. But Hinsdale, at least in my assessment, what they need to do is they need to force LT out of their comfort zone, and that seems to be the back end is where they're hitting most of their passes, and LT kind of sits at that back end and then launches it up to the corners. It seems to me like most of their success has been on when they have gotten it in the middle to the very front.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, the Devils are behind by 7. I'm not positive. I don't know if they'll be able to catch up with this during this match, but for the second one, I would not be surprised if they come back and keep a strong lead.
Kelsey Sheehan on the serve, Gallo on the return for Hinsdale. Big spike. Schooneman tried to go after it, caught out of position. She thought the wall was enough, but it redirected back in their court. So now Hinsdale will get the volley. Ashley Pelton on the serve. It goes over the net. LT. Big spike, not enough. Gonzalez, another.
A great spike to the backcourt. That's what's getting LT almost all of the points.
Shaylin Brady on a huge spike to inch LT closer to a match 1 victory. And now LT will get the serve. Back serving is number 5, Meg Kern. Hinsdale on the return.
Another miscommunication will give them the point.
Kern was initially inching up like she thought she was going to get it, but then she moved to the side because I believe she thought that someone from the front was going to get it. Yet another communication lapse in this LT defense. Schooneman going for a spike. Hinsdale got it though. LT going up for another corner. Schooneman trying to inch it over. Didn't quite get it.
Looks like she hit the ball underneath the net. That's not going to get you a point.
That's going to give Hinsdale a point as a penalty was assessed. Now 22-17 in favor of the Lions. Madison Babich set it up for Marina Gonzalez just to basically lay it up over the net.
It looks like most of the points in this game, or at least a good half of them, are coming from communication errors, miscommunications between teammates. LT's been struggling with them, and recently Hinsdale has been as well.
Big defensive effort by LT. They got up in front of the net, and that kind of shifted the Hinsdale defensive plan as Schoenemann is back to serve again.
If LT scores right here, they will win this match, and we will go on to the second one.
Madison Babbage got it over, and
great play by Emma Fink.
Fink will win that first match for the Lions as both sides now switch courts.
We'll have a 3-minute delay before the next match will start.
Just as we're waiting, Luke, could you just try to walk me through this? What keys would you be giving to each side?
Once again, well, as I was saying a few minutes ago, I would say I think that the biggest problem for LT is definitely miscommunication. And the biggest issue for Hinsdale would be lack of power in the back of the court where LT is scoring. So they've got to get, I would even say maybe more players in the backcourt, because almost all of LT's points are coming that way, and a good majority of Hinsdale's points are coming from LT's miscommunications. They've just got to let each other know who's got the ball, and, you know, don't be afraid to run into each other, right?
All right, so more power on Hinsdale's side and better communication on LT. We will be back when the second match starts. You're watching LTTV.
Starting up really soon will be the second match of LT versus Hinsdale for some varsity volleyball. Right now, the LT has one match above Hinsdale, and I believe that they won that match by 6 points.
They won it 25-17, I believe.
All right, then, make that 9. 8.
LT and Hinsdale have switched sides as we get ready for the second match. Hinsdale getting ready. LT trying to talk it out between their two defensive sides, possibly going over strategies, just getting ready. Marina Gonzalez is getting ready to serve, it would appear. They are going with a spot of Gonzalez, Babbage, and Schoenemann in the front, in the back, I should say. That has been their defensive back for the end of the last match. Hinsdale getting a spike. LT got it. Another spike from the corner for LT, and they won't be able to get it quite in time.
I wouldn't be surprised if the lights got in the way of that ball. It went almost up to the ceiling, probably about 1.5 feet away. So all 4 of the girls in the back of the court had to look up quite bright.
Babbage's serve just barely handled. LT will be awarded a point because Hinsdale's return, so to speak, hit the top of the net. That would be a penalty. LT already up 2-0.
This is exactly how it started last match. We'll see if that trend continues with Hinsdale getting a point.
LT getting a spike out. Hinsdale redirecting. They found it. And now a big spike, but a defensive wall and a point for Hinsdale. It seemed as though Rhiannon Schoenemann tried to go back for it, but she was just simply caught out of position. And she wasn't able to get enough of it to keep it in the air.
As of right now, we are copying the first match. It is currently 2-1.
Well, it has started out the exact same way. Big spike, point for LT. It was caught by a Hinsdale player, and the point will be assessed to number 26, Emma Fink.
She's currently serving. We've been seeing a lot of great plays by her. She was the player to get the 25th point last match with a great spike.
And now a serve, which just went barely up out of the reach of Nora Stack, the 5'8" senior for Hinsdale. So she has been doing a lot in this match so far. Big defensive play by Babbage. And a spike by Schooneman. More of a power setting by Hinsdale as they are awarded a point, cutting the deficit to 2, putting it in half, and now Hinsdale will get the serve.
Looks like that if LT would have let the ball continue to go, it might have gone out of bounds. It was a very powerful hit, as we've been seeing on both sides today.
The serve for Hinsdale up, and Marina Gonzalez trying to get it.
Hits the net.
Yeah.
Still a great dive. And
she's trying to make the play, just got to it a little too late. The serve for Hinsdale kept alive by LT. Hinsdale trying to get it over, they do. Gonzalez sending it up, and a point for LT as Hinsdale bobbles it into the net. So LT never tying once with Hinsdale in this match so far. LT keeping their volley alive. Marina Gonzalez up to Schooneman. Big spike, big defensive play, and another one for Schooneman. Big play. Is now LT.
They've doubled their lead. Now they have doubled the points of Hinsdale, but that will come to an end as Hinsdale has a great play, spiking it over the net, 6-4.
You could see the spark on the bench and on the field. They really wanted that point. Hinsdale sending it over. That was number 26 on the serve. But LT will get it back and score again, putting them up by 3.
Great hit by Hannah Hornacek. She's going to the bench, but had a fantastic play there.
Interesting thing to know, LT had subbed out Nora Stack earlier. They just put her back in. The person who subbed in for Lindsay Knutso came in and then came out. She is one of the 2 freshmen on this Hinsdale Red Devils team as that volley came to an end.
Looks like it was hit too many times by Hinsdale before going over the net, which will give LT another point. I apologize. The point will go to Hinsdale, who's serving again. Only a 2-point difference, pretty early in this match.
LT, big spike from the backcourt, able to get it up. A lot of power in this matchup. They're really grinding it out, but LT got that point.
Yeah, great spike by Shaylin Brady. Went right again to the back right corner. That seems to be her spot. LT has been scoring a lot. Hinsdale should get some people back there as it happens again.
Hinsdale launched a pass into the side, into the bleachers, almost hit someone. Luckily, they got out of the way.
Hinsdale has been playing quite great in the front of the court.
Well, they've been grinding. They've been keeping LT in lengthy battles. So far, they haven't quite got the edge they need. It's big defensive play by Schooneman. Just launched over. Hinsdale couldn't quite get it up over the net. Another point to LT.
I mean, clearly this is the greatest difference has been 3 throughout this whole game or this whole match. So they're not giving up. Hinsdale's been looking
They've always
quite
had
good.
Interesting thing to note, they've always had somewhat of a puncher's chance in this match, as now their lead is extended to 4. LT could be looking to blow it open.
Greatest lead by LT so far this match. It's only been 2-3.
Score is currently 10-6. Hinsdale getting it over the net after a shaky start. Big spike by number 26, Emma Fink. And the sophomore is having quite a game. She just overpowered that Hinsdale defensive wall and made them ricochet it out of bounds.
That seems to be her power play. She jumps up and just spikes it right over the net, and almost every time it goes straight to the ground. No one on Hinsdale can recover it. Here we go, our defensive specialist hitting it up, and it goes out of bounds, but LT gets the point. LT has now increased their lead by 6, and looks like Hinsdale is taking a timeout.
Now, with this lead, it's a big lead, it's 6. What would you be telling your players if you were LT's coach on how to just extend this lead?
Well, I'd say keep up with the great spikes to the back corner, because that seems to be where Hinsdale is lacking. But clearly, I mean, it could still go either way. We've seen Hinsdale playing a great game earlier, and I mean, junior varsity and on both sides, they both played well. LT won that game. But once again, it was close, and this seems to be the same pattern that we're seeing here. And 10 more seconds until play will resume.
LT's JV squad trying to increase some team spirit out there, as they had a bit of a chant. They are situated right behind the LT bench, so they could have tried to give them some miscommunication, as Rhiannon Schoenemann set to serve again, gets it over the net. Hinsdale sending it back over. Babbage on the defensive play. Another big spike by Emma Fink. And a slight tip, and it's over the net for Shaylin Brady, who has been assessed another score. She is one of the leaders, the more vocal ones, the 6-foot sophomore. Big defensive play by Rhiannon Schoenemann, and Emma Fink inched it just a bit out of bounds.
Looks like this power hit is finally stabbing her in the back.
Yeah, she's been thriving off it, but it went a little bit too far that time, and that gave Hinsdale the ball.
One play like that should not hurt a team, though.
They are up by a pretty good margin, up by 6 as the score is 13-7. Now 13-8 as Babbage diving to make the play. Couldn't quite get it high enough. It rolled under the net. Maggie Schwartz back to serve for Hinsdale. Schoenemann, a play.
Back to Brady.
Shaylin Brady had a hit with some steam on it. There was a penalty assessed, so LT will get the ball. Shaylin Brady was now subbed out. Marina Gonzalez just setting it over the net, increasing the LT lead to 15.
Looks like Nora Stack was not quite able to get the ball. But here she goes, hits it up, sets it up for her teammate.
And another play for LT. Marina Gonzalez again, as LT is looking to run away with this one. Madison Babbage back to serve again. Hinsdale and LT having a little scrum at the net, but they get it. Just a little set over, almost losing it. Hinsdale just got a piece of it. A big spike.
That is one more power play by Emma Fink. This has really been her signature move, jumping up, spiking it over the net, straight down to the right corner. It's given them plenty of points. LT now only needs 8 more.
Madison Babbage back to serve. Nora Stack, the defensive specialist for Hinsdale, got it over, got a point for the Red Devils now. And now she is back to serve. Rena Gonzalez setting it up. Emma Fink had a spike. There will be a penalty assessed to Hinsdale. There is a point given to the Lions. And Coach Pierce has got to be liking what she sees out of her Lions tonight. They have consistently dominated the front end.
I mean, I'm sure that they were talking about the miscommunications because it has definitely come to an end this match.
For the most part, all of it has ceased indeed. Nora Stack for the Devils, getting it over. LT, and then just as you think it ended, one of them was caught off guard. It's caught too far away. And
Yep.
the Devils get their 9th.
Oh.
Hinsdale getting the serve over. Marina Gonzalez, Emma Fink again. That has been a tandem that has worked for them. They've liked it. And yet another defensive miscue.
Looks like Hinsdale is planning to come back with a rally, and judging by the way that they've played before, I would not be surprised if they could get it close again.
Hinsdale to serve, Babbage. Got it, Marina Gonzalez to Fink. Not to Fink, that would be to number 25, Hannah Hornacek.
It is
apologies.
Gone out of bounds, which has awarded the Devils 1 more point, and a timeout has been called.
By the Lions, it would appear. Now, Coach Pierce has obviously got to be telling her team to really calm down, as it seems their defensive miscues have really kind of let Hinsdale back into this game. And from that deficit, it would be devastating if they got back into this game and ended up winning this match and forcing that match 3.
Well, as an opposite of calming down for LT, I'm sure that Hinsdale was just talking about continuing to fire up. They've now decreased the deficit to only 6 points, and they've gotten an advantage by serving.
Hinsdale back to serve, looking to shorten the deficit even more. It's only a 6-point one as the Devils try to close the gap. The serve is up and away. Kenna Hansen on the return, that's number 18. And a penalty assessed.
The Devils, they are coming back quick. The past 4 points have been awarded to them. It is now 18-13, only 5-point deficit.
Pierce trying to switch it up. Gets number 18, Kenna Hansen, in the mix, puts her back in the backcourt, but that Hinsdale volley sent it out of bounds. LT now gets the serve again, and now it is Emma Fink back to serve as Kenna Hansen subs out. Central, big spike out of bounds, another point to LT. They are now within 5 of closing out the game.
5 within closing the game and 7 above Hinsdale. It'll be tough for them to come back, but as we saw, they are able to rally quite well.
And it
right here,
it looks like Hinsdale is starting to try to rally.
Abby Vulich is subbing for, Emma Fink is going out, and Abby Vulich is coming in for the Lions.
Andrea Kopp back to serve for Hinsdale. The serve is up and away now.
They've,
as
they've put all their people in the front of the court.
they're expecting a spike. Big defensive play by LT. They've been mixing it up, trying to get different sets in, and it appears to have worked. Big spike by Schooneman, and a point for Schooneman as that one just bounced into the wall and trickled down the net. Now putting LT within 4. 2 big subs for the Lions as they look to keep everyone fresh, get everyone some playing time. Big spike by Shaylin Brady. Good defensive effort by the Lions. Just a slight trickle down, and LT has got another point.
Only 3 away from winning the entire game.
Nora Stacked was just caught out of position, and she, from the way that she was acting after that one, she was not happy about it.
This is an even greater lead than LT had in the last match at this
Big
point in the game.
Spike by Schooneman. She's been in, it seems, all game. She hasn't been subbed out just yet.
Another penalty, and LT has been awarded a point. 23-14. LT needs 2 more to win the game.
Big spike went nowhere.
Yeah,
but the net.
Defensive wall shut the ball down, and LT is only 1 away from claiming their second victory.
Score is now 24-14. LT within 1. And a score
has been awarded to Hinsdale. It does not look like they're, well, I would not be surprised if Hinsdale comes back with 2 or 3 more points, as this has been the pattern before.
Hinsdale not quite ready to lie down yet. Rhiannon Schooneman on the return. Big spike, and that will do it. That is the clincher. LT has won this one 25-15.
Only 2 matches needed. The first one, 25-17, and the second match, 25-15.
A resounding win for the Lions against their bitter rival, the Hinsdale Central Red Devils. Good performances by a lot of people, namely Emma Fink and Rhiannon Schooneman. What would you say were the keys to this victory?
Well, clearly, I mean, going into the first period, or intermission, I'd say, it was a tough, there were plenty of communication errors. Sorry about that. I'm having some right now. And they came back. Definitely, I'm sure that they talked about that, as now it is all good.
LT winning the crosstown rivalry. This has been LT Girls Volleyball at the North Campus Fieldhouse. I am Stephen Barhorst, and for myself and Luke Cunningham, we bid you a good afternoon.